Hello and welcome. Today we are going to look at maybe the world's most used web animation ever. You guessed it right, the text marquee animation. So you've probably seen this, and I've prepared some cool examples of it, but even the awards website has it like on top of their page. Well, what can I say? It's a timeless design, like a good pair of jeans, right? Maybe you've added a new coupon code to your e-commerce shop, or have an announcement about your product like this one, or you want to showcase your partners in crime in your testimonial section. Maybe you're featuring your team, as we did on the About section. So yes, today I will showcase how to create one from scratch that is fully customizable, high performance, no dependencies at all, just plain old good JavaScript and CSS. This animation is incredibly versatile for these kind of purposes, as our brains are already familiar with its movement and flow. Well, yes, this aged like an old great wine, but people got bored and tried new things with it and come up with something incredible. Let me show you some of examples. So this one, it's behind the 3D object and slightly moves towards to the left, but if you hover over to the element, it increases its speed. Or this one in a menu, when you hover over the menu items, you see the good old marquee elements with a twist with the images. Or in this one, if you scroll, you control the speed of the marquee, so that was really neat. Or maybe just a simple one in your e-commerce shop, and it has this looping add to back marquee element inside it. So yeah, but how do you achieve this kind of animation? Back in the day, there was a good old HTML marquee element. You just wrap a children with a marquee element and it's just scrolls. But it had some flaws and deprecated, so we cannot use it, but that's not a problem because there are a lot of ways to build this. If you're familiar with JavaScript animation libraries like GSAP or Framer Motion, you can build this kind of animation and it's totally fine. But today I'm going to show you a minimal yet powerful component using React and Tailwind CSS. So what I've prepared in here, we will build this theme section. We will go from a basic implementation and slowly add on to it. Alright? Okay, so now I've prepared the demo page for this tutorial with team members, with some hard-coded data. And if we check out the marquee elements, it has only an overflow clip and flex width of max content children attached to it. So let's check out how it looks. So we have the initial bare bones. In order for this to move from right to left or left to right, we need to configure our tailwind.config.ts file. So under theme.extend, we will add marquee move text, and for the animation we will specify it as marquee move. If we can add animate marquee move and check out our example, so now it starts to move the elements towards to the left, but you see the jump, right? In order to fix that problem, we need to add another children as cursor suggests. It looks good. Let's add a gap in between the elements. So we have the gap, everything looks fine. So to prevent the unexpected jump in between the elements, we need to add a padding left to this. It should match the gap that we have defined. Let's hit save. So yeah, boom. So let's say we want to control the speed and the direction, right? At our interface, we will import the component pros without ref, specifying the element that we are using. So we will receive the children, class name, speed, and direction. And we want to change the speed and the direction based on the prop. As you can see, speed can be slow, normal, or fast. So if the speed is slow, as cursor suggests, we can define the variable to be 40 seconds. If it is normal, we can define it to 30. And if it is fast, then it can be 10 seconds. And for the direction, if it is left, we can mark it as forwards, or if it is right, we can mark it as reverse. We have an TypeScript linter error. We can say as CSS properties from React. All of a sudden, it started to slow down. Why? Because we have defined our Tailwind config var -- speed. We are defaulting to 10 seconds. And we are defaulting to normal in the component. That means it is set to 30 seconds. That's why it has slowed down a little bit. So let's say I want to pause the animation when a user hovers over it and apply some mask to just smooth out these edges. Okay, how can we do that? Well, that's easy. We can also receive these props and default it to false. Yeah, pause on hover, boolean, and mask edges boolean. Let's add the class name to this, which means if we hover, the below div element, which is this one, should stop playing, right? This animation play state will be paused if the pause on hover prop is set to true. Okay, so let's enable the pause on hover to check it out. So if I hover over it, boom, it stops. Perfect. So are we done? No. Well, we might want to pass ref object. First of all, we need to import forward ref from React and element ref. We already have the marquee props. We wrapped the function with the forward ref helper from React. That way we can pass the ref directly like we pass the props. So in this stage, everything is already configured and looks great, right? But if you inspect the element, you can see we have duplicate elements which are the same. So we want to avoid this. For the screen readers, I bet the first thing that comes to mind is, well, let's wrap this children in a div and we should be fine, right? And put a area hidden. When the first element comes, it becomes vertical, so it breaks the layout. Let me show you. Oops, see that? There is a cool little trick that we can use. We can specify the attribute, which is area hidden. That way there are no issues with the screen readers and we are not breaking the layout. So check this out. So wherever we want to use this, we can pass 5 different props to this component, which are like, we can pause and hover, we can change the direction, we can change the gap in between elements, we can change the speed, and we can change if we want to mask the edges or not. Let's change the direction to be right. Oops, now it's going to the right. By the way, this is all type safe, so you can see what your options are. And just like that, you have a fully customizable, high performance, and no dependencies at all, a marquee component. that you can use to build crazy stuff across your projects. And if you want the actual code, it is 100% free. It's in our website in a written blog post, so you can directly copy and paste from it. And hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.